It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what.
Yeah, we came up hard, matched up with the squad. 5 deep in the car for a drink from a dog. Got a heat from my quad, but I see through your flaws. Money missing, I just come and get it. Got my hustle with it, running up the ditches, build the muscle, lifting up the bundles, picture, never talking, even if a service sentence. I've been living on the outer limits. All my homies know I'm on the grind. I've been working around the clock to get it, putting hours like it's overtime. All I know is how to get the bread. Take the dough and I'ma make it rise. Got my partner about to bring the pasta, that's a full meal with the Parmesan. Got it monetized.
I'ma show you how to play in this game. Yeah. Gotta check and blow it quick as it came. Yeah. Semen flossing with them diamonds and rings. Yeah. That street money never sit in no bank.
Yeah, I'm back on my road, back on the block on my bros. Clocking the grip as it grows, stay on my toes. Do what they take for my goals, couple days straight same clothes. Shout the collar with the more problems. Change my number, I don't take the calls. I just shake it off and get more guala. Heart pumping like cold water. Run the street like my forefathers. I was taught to get the most out of it. Hustle up, then you double up. That's the only way you ever gon' profit. Blow a bag before I take it home. Hard times just made me strong, so I'm cool-headed when the heat is on. All the talking, I'ma prove them wrong, homie, yo.
Shining on them haters, man. Shining on them haters, man. Shining on them haters, man. Shining on them haters, man.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. For those of y'all that are tuned in right now, we are live. Apparently, my hand has been forced. You know what I'm saying? Just to set the scene, last night, Drake pulled back his petition against UMG and Spotify. Right? We talked about that this morning. I recorded that video last night when it happened, but I'm like, it's a little late at night. I don't want to drop nothing at 11 o'clock, so let me just drop it in the morning. Just as I was dropping it in the morning, this niggerachi here decided he want to file a federal lawsuit against UMG as my video is dropping talking about the events that occurred last night. This nigga meet the Grrrls my ass. Dear Nolan, I know you thought you had some accurate shit, but it's older. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, we live, Leo. We live. Nah, my next video not dropping at the same time. I've already pushed those videos back. I had to push all the content that I had scheduled. I had to push everything back. So if you thought you was finna watch the Megan Thee Stallion, Emilio Garcia thing, that's been pushed back. The Cardi B talking about Offset thing, that's also been pushed back. So everything has been amended. I don't have any complaints, but it's been amended. And we're going to try to get in and out of this as quick as possible because I'm trying to get this done and wrapped up so we could get to the Megan Thee Stallion thing at 2. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual lawsuit that Drake has filed against UMG. Because this thing, from what I see, he's jumping off the paper already. He blaming UMG for the shooting that happened at his crib. Wow. I don't even know if I told y'all I would be open to hearing this nigga rap. I don't know if I want to hear this nigga rap no more. That's just me. Let me share my screen and we'll get to it. Put myself in the corner. God damn, boy. All right. So we've got the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Aubrey Drake Graham versus UMG Recordings. Now, what I found interesting when I first saw this was that he actually used his name, because the first time he went up against UMG with that petition, he used his company, Frozen Moments. This time around, he put his actual name on it. Maybe he thought Frozen Moments would have kept him kind of anonymous once people got wind of it, but once people got wind of it, we knew exactly who the fuck it was. Anyway, complaint. Plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham, through his attorneys, brings this complaint against defendant UMG Recordings. Introduction. A single lie can destroy a reputation of integrity, and while it takes years to build a reputation, it can be ruined in 5 minutes. That is a direct quote from Sir Lucian Grain, CEO of UMG, as of March 25th, 2024. And that's actually just a week or so, a couple weeks before all this jumped off, before we got Like That and all the responses, because didn't Like That drop like top of April? So based on what we know about Drake's petitions, he feels that UMG has been conspiring against him in the year of 2024. Okay? So here we are. In the middle of the night on May 7th, 2024, an armed group of assailants drove up to the Toronto house in which Drake and his family resided. Drake was inside. The car stopped in front of the residence. Someone yelled, "Fuck Drake!" And at least one gunman began to open fire. Hey man, when you just talking to Chris Blake Griffith about not snitching and calling him a rat and said, "Man, my stuff is just me and a label, man. Your shit involves violence. You're snitching. The first sentence in your shit, you snitching." All right, let me stop. One bullet went through the security gate and hit Drake's front door. Another bullet struck and wounded a security guard who was also one of Drake's friends, who we still don't know what the hell happened to him. We heard he got shot. I'm sure he had a vest on. Nigga probably wasn't even pierced, but whatever. While the car drove away, Drake and others in the house summoned help for the security guard and did everything possible to keep him alive. Oh my God. During the nearly 30 minutes it took for the ambulance to arrive, Drake and others labored to keep the man alive by applying pressure to the gunshot wound with towels. Blood was everywhere. Okay, so he's setting the scene that his security guard was actually shot and bleeding out all over his floor. This was a traumatic experience for Sir Aubrey. After the security guard arrived at the hospital, surgeons worked quickly to remove the bullet, stop the bleeding, and save his life. Though it took days for his condition to stabilize, thankfully the security guard survived. This is something we never heard any updates about, by the way. They even said your security was a farce. Very interesting. The very next day, May 8th, 2024, a different intruder used his bare hands to dig a hole under the security fence surrounding Drake's Toronto house. He managed to dig deep enough to squeeze through and enter Drake's property. Fortunately, Drake's home security guards caught him before he was able to cause any physical harm, although the trespasser managed to yell racist slurs and threats against Drake before being escorted off the property. Now, what I find interesting is that all this time, the battle with Kendrick Lamar, his race was being used as a talking point. People were talking about whether or not he was white, whether he was a colonizer, whether he was all of this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, he's receiving racist slurs. Very interesting. We've never heard Drake complain about racist slurs being hurled against him ever in his career. But all of a sudden, it happened the day after his security guard was mysteriously shot. This is a 3-day series of events here. I don't want to put my conspiracy hat on, but come on. Y'all know. On May 9th, 2024, the very next day, another break-in attempt happened. In the 2 decades leading up to May of 2024, although Drake was constantly in the public eye, nothing remotely like these events had ever happened to him or his family. But these events were not coincidental. They sure weren't. You did them yourself. But let me shut up. They immediately followed and were proximately caused by UMG's actions leading up to and on May 4th, 2024. Okay, so maybe he's going to give us some background about why he would believe UMG would do such a thing. UMG is the world's largest music company and also the music company that has represented Drake for more than a decade. Yet on May 4th, 2024, UMG approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track that falsely accuses Drake of being, this some bitch ass shit right here, being a pedophile and calls for violent retribution against him. Even though UMG enriched itself and its shareholders by exploiting Drake's music for years and knew that the salacious allegations against Drake were false, UMG chose corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artists. Nah, fam. You and Kendrick Lamar are both under UMG. So if they allowed you to release fucking push-ups, which was already taking shots at Kendrick and his woman on the low, you come back and drop Family Matters, taking more direct shots at Kendrick and his woman. What makes you think they wouldn't release his track against you with these allegations? Y'all was in a rap battle. You took it deeper. Now all of a sudden you want to say that they released something against you and they were exploiting you for years. This is whole shit. I'm sorry. And knew that the salacious allegations against Drake were false. UMG chose corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artists. Come on, safety and well-being, bro. Yeah, you're done. At least to me, you're done. Like, the petition was bad enough. I was still open. But this is how your lawsuit starts. Dunzo. In controversy, UMG saw an opportunity, seized it, and continued to fan the flames even after learning of the incitement to violence on May 7th and 8th, along with the unrelenting vitriol towards Drake that has followed. The song in question is Not Like Us, written and performed by Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, professionally known as Kendrick Lamar. The fact that his name is even in here is even worse. The recording was intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation that Drake is a criminal pedo, and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. The recording is defamatory because its lyrics, its album image, and its music video all advance the false and malicious narrative that Drake is a pedo. The lyrics repeatedly accuse Drake of engaging in criminal acts, including by calling him a certified P and a predator who needs to be placed on neighborhood watch. The image was designed to reinforce and in fact reinforces the accusation by depicting Drake's actual Toronto house covered in the icons that are known to be used by law enforcement, as well as public safety applications like Citizen, to identify child ex-offenders' residences online. The video bolsters the same message by, for example, showing images associated with trafficking and juxtaposing the game of hopscotch with lyrics accusing Drake of trying to strike a chord and is probably a minor. This lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us. Look at y'all trying to be slick. Boy, we don't give a fuck about that disclaimer. You just went and talked all about the lyrics. You talking all about the video. You talking about a game of hopscotch. Then you're going to try to hopscotch and jump rope your way up out of it and say, it's not really about him. It's about UMG. They released it. They need to release your ass from the industry, sir. This lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us. It is instead entirely about UMG, the music company that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false but dangerous. As UMG knows, and has known at all relevant times, the recording, image, and video's allegations are unequivocally false. Drake is not a pedo. Drake has never engaged in any acts that require he be placed on neighborhood watch. Drake has never engaged in relations with a minor. Drake has never been charged with or convicted of any criminal acts whatsoever. Oh boy. Lawsuit popping. Notwithstanding its knowledge that the allegations are fabricated starting in May of 2024, UMG waged an unrelenting campaign to spread the recording, image, and video, together the defamatory material, as widely as possible. I'm going to just say this. If this song is a defamatory material, then every song that was produced in that battle should be used as defamatory material, with lawsuits coming from all parties. Lawsuits coming from Drake, lawsuits coming from UMG, lawsuits coming from Kendrick Lamar and his woman, lawsuit coming from Dave Free as he was inaccurately depicted as having an affair with his best friend's woman and allegedly birthing a child and passing it off as Kendrick's. I think everybody should be filing lawsuits if this is the type of route that we're taking. But nobody else has done anything of the like. So you're on the outs. Widely as possible. UMG did so because it understood that the recording's inflammatory and shocking allegations were a gold mine. Spreading the defamatory material served multiple businesses business purposes for UMG. First, the more people who listened to, streamed, watched, and downloaded the defamatory material, the more money UMG and its executives would make. No shit, Sherlock. Even they make money off your dumb ass too, why? Second, UMG's Interscope Records owns Lamar's entire back catalog of recorded music. The leadership of Interscope had every incentive to prove it could maximize Lamar's sales only after recently persuading him to enter into his own direct license for a limited recording commitment of new music. Third, in contrast with Lamar's first direct deal, UMG's contract with Drake was nearing fulfillment, and on information and belief, UMG anticipated that extending Drake's contract would be costly. By devaluing Drake's music and brand, UMG would gain leverage to force Drake to sign a new deal on terms more favorable to UMG. Nigga, Interscope is under the UMG umbrella as well. You could try to pull the fucking wool over the people's eyes as much as you want. Your music is actually licensed to Republic. Why are you not mentioning Republic? If you want to go into specifics, if he's with Interscope, you're with Republic, both subsidiaries of UMG. What the fuck his deal with Interscope got to do with his previous deal if he got a new deal? You want a new deal. UMG's campaign was successful. I damn near gotta read it in this fucking nasally ass voice, because this shit just reeks of fucking apartment problems. Like a nigga that just stomping on your floor. Hey, stop it, guys. Stomping on their floor, that's your ceiling. The recording cloaks cleverly dangerous lyrics behind a catchy beat and an inviting hook. Capitalizing on those attributes, UMG used every tool at its disposal to ensure that the world would hear that Drake like 'em young. The defamatory material has been played billions of times, and its false central message has gone viral via social and legacy media channels in dozens of languages to, at minimum, hundreds of millions of people spanning the globe. It is not just fans of rap music who now believe Drake is a certified pedophile. The recording has become ubiquitous. UMG and its used its promotional resources and exclusive licensing rights to place the recording on numerous nationally televised events, including but not limited to award shows, national political events, and more. But billions of plays and ubiquity were not enough for UMG. Over the course of the last several months, UMG has made significant financial investments and leveraged its professional connections via sophisticated and highly organized publicity campaigns to arrange for the recording to be performed at one of the most significant and viewed cultural events of the year, the Super Bowl. Oh, the real problem. You don't want him performing it at the Super Bowl. You're not going to call me a pedo on national TV at the biggest event in the world. Bitch, I'm still going to perform that bitch. Sue me, nigga. Come for me. You think you got money? I got money too to fight it. Come fuck with me. UMG is legally responsible for the release, publication, and promotion of the defamatory material, including the foreseeable consequence of the same. UMG's business is to possess the exclusive rights to reproduce, to distribute, and to license music, including over the internet. In other words, it is only with UMG's explicit approval that the defamatory material could have been released in the first instance and later streamed, shared, performed publicly, and exploited by content creators on TikTok and Instagram. UMG's campaign went well beyond the traditional music company playbook. Indeed, UMG has unleashed every weapon in its arsenal, including, on information and belief, certain practices that are unlawful. In a memorandum of staff reflecting on highlights of 2021, Sir Lucian Grange remarked that it was harder than ever for artists to break through the noise. As for example, 60,000 songs are added to Spotify every day. Excuse me, sir. Your name is Drake. His name is Kendrick Lamar. Neither one of you niggas have any problem breaking through the fucking noise. Boy, you got me pissed off today. UMG sure made sure that Not Like Us broke through that noise. Nigga, he's Kendrick Lamar. For one, UMG took the unprecedented step, contrary to its internal practices, to remove the recording's copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, thereby whitelisting the recording to ensure content creators would republish it broadly. On information and belief, UMG and its agents further put a thumb on the scale by covertly offering financial incentives to third parties to deceptively stream the recording on streaming platforms, to play the recording on the radio, and to otherwise promote and endorse the defamatory material, all without ever publicly disclosing the payments. These actions are not only spread and further ingrain the defamatory statements in the minds of the public, but deceive consumers and harm Drake economically. This is the all-time low. Predictably, millions of people who listened to the recording or saw the image and video believed the defamatory material to be true. UMG had previously published Lamar's song Euphoria, which was also widely understood to be targeted at Drake. It wasn't widely understood, nigga. It was a diss track. And which stated, "Don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you." Nigga, you're referring to his other song too? So it ain't just about Not Like Us. You're blanket covering all his material that was aimed at you, but you're taking no responsibility, no accountability for the same shit that you did in his direction. You's a hoe ass nigga, you get no respect from me. I thought there was a comeback for Drake. I thought there was an opportunity for this nigga to go in the studio. He cut his hair. I told him to cut his hair last year when everything was going on. I said, hey, you might want to cut that shit off. He cut his hair, but everything else has been bad since then. And I know there's going to be some Drake truthers in here, probably one or two. I'm not looking at the chat because I'm trying to get through this lawsuit. But I know there's some in here. And I'm going to tell you, you want to say I'm biased? You can say I'm biased all you want. I am disappointed heavily. And I'm not a huge Drake fan, but just as a hip hop fan, as somebody that cares about music, I'm extremely disappointed. I didn't think we would get here. I thought that the petition and everything was, a bluff to try to get the deal he wanted. I figured he would just fall back in line. But you get no respect from here on out, sir. Anyway, as voluminous public commentary confirms, the average listener or viewer has understood the defamatory material to reflect the truth rather than art or hyperbole. In the words of one commentator, now everybody believes that Drake loves touching children. Dog. UMG's greed yielded real-world consequences. As described above, it was just 3 days after UMG originally published the recording and image that Drake was targeted at his Toronto house by armed intruders in the 2024 equivalent of Pizzagate. Pizzagate? Bruh, it sounds like you self-incriminating at this point. The online response was similarly violent and hateful. An avalanche of online hate speech has branded Drake as an offender and pedo, among other epithets. Public commentary has repeated the false claims that Drake is a pedo and sexual abuser on the level of Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein, who children, man, it's a lot of shit I gotta edit in here. In shipping containers and harbors convicted offenders in his Toronto home. Bruh, you still out here co-signing Baca. Let's be fucking clear. In direct response to UMG's publication, social media users called for the Federal Bureau of Investigation to come at this point and for Drake to be locked up and behind bars. The mob-like response to the recording continues to unfold on and offline. Recently, flyers were plastered all over Toronto with the photo of Drake and a Canadian YouTuber who was sentenced to 3 years in prison for SA with the words, "Canadian predators gotta stick together." Come on, dog. Come on, dog. With the palpable physical threat to Drake's safety and the bombardment of online harassment, Drake fears for the safety and security. Come on, man. First, you saying your house got shot up. You want to blame UMG when everybody know that was a problem between you and The Weeknd. The Weeknd manager house got shot up the week prior. Your shit got shot up right then after. Y'all done had issues. Y'all done had street problems. You was dissing that nigga too. Now you want to come with this bullshit, talking about you fear for your safety, but you out here at basketball games, you're yucking it up with Steph Curry, you out here doing all type of bullshit. You just put a story up in your Instagram in a trench coat, black gloves with some, I don't even know who the fuck that was. You fearing for your safety, but you trying to be the aggressor at the same time. With the palpable physical threat to Drake's safety and the bombardment of online harassment, Drake fears for the safety and security of himself, his family, and his friends. After the attacks on his home, Drake pulled his son out of the elementary school he attended in Toronto due to safety concerns, and one school ended for the summer. Drake arranged for his son and mother to leave Toronto entirely. I don't give a fuck about none of this. You said that man's child wasn't his. Just imagine what his kids got to go through in school. Fuck, nigga. Day to day, Drake continues to take the steps to address persistent threats to his security. The violence and vitriol directed at Drake was foreseeable. The recording falsely accuses Drake of one of the most vile behaviors imaginable and explicitly calls for retaliatory violence and retribution against him. The false pedophile accusation is a devastatingly effective method of assassinating someone's character online. When spread virally, the accusation can destroy an individual's reputation and brand in a matter of days. As one expert on conspiracy theories has explained, there's always been a certain amount of salaciousness in these conspiracy theories, and if it involves children, people immediately just lose their mind, even if these children don't exist. If you just put out the suggestion there, it grabs a hold in a way that is difficult to dislodge. UMG understands just how dangerous these kinds of false allegations are. Indeed, when it comes to allegations against UMG and its executives, they have not hesitated to take legal action against their accusers. Just last year, UMG and Sir Grrrls were accused, in their words, without the slightest factual basis, and of aiding and abetting Sean P. Diddy Combs in criminal. Oh, wow. You throwing Diddy in this motherfucker too. Before the pandemic, you was talking about how eager you was to go to his house. Or in the pandemic. Moving to dismiss the complaint against them, UMG and Sir Grrrls argued that the accusations were offensively false allegations of criminal behavior that would be libelous per se, if not contained with a legal filing. Sir Grrrls called the allegations against him knowingly and maliciously false and defamatory. Sir Grrrls also explained that a single lie can destroy a reputation of integrity, and while it takes years to build a reputation, it can be ruined in 5 minutes. Thus, recognizing that false allegations against him might interfere with his efforts to lead an honorable, personal, and professional life, Sir Grrrls promised to pursue those who have made these outrageous allegations against him. Boy, they say Kendrick Lamar got more music dropping after the Super Bowl. I hope you put the nail in this boy's box. I'm sorry. It's a no for me, dog. In stark contrast, when Drake confronted UMG about its role in promoting allegations of sexual misconduct, lacking the slightest factual basis against him, UMG refused to do anything to help. Instead, UMG continued to republish and promote the defamatory material even after Drake had unequivocally denied the allegations in public and had communicated that in private to UMG. Drake informed UMG of the tangible harm that the publication and promotion of the recording had caused him, including violence, threats, reputational and financial damage, and more, yet UMG still chose money over the safety and well-being of its artists, notwithstanding its public commitment to behaving honorably and with honesty and setting the right tone in all that we do. Many months prior to filing this litigation, Drake attempted to address these claims privately with UMG. Drake believed, per Sir Grrrls, that UMG's leadership should be held accountable for the decisions we make and how we conduct ourselves. This is pitiful. And UMG purports to care about threatening and abusive behavior. Indeed, UMG's code of conduct notes that harassment can take different forms, such as speech that is threatening or abusive. Yeah, harassment can take many different forms, right? Such as you release a diss record against an artist, you disparage him and his name, and then you find out what hotel he's in, and you go play that diss song at alarming rates in a room right above his. Did Kendrick Lamar do that? No. Harassment can take many forms, such as, I don't like what you said about me or what you have been saying about me, so I'm going to get on a song and attack your wife. Did Kendrick Lamar do that? No. You know who did? Drake. Who was the first person to put a diss track out and use it across a tour and said, I'm finna double back all summer 16? Is that not harassment? In the context of this lawsuit, I'll say, because I don't find it to be harassment in terms of what we understand in hip hop, but in the context of this lawsuit, you've been harassing motherfuckers for years. You've been sleeping with everybody, girl, as a power play. You don't find that as any form of harassment? Okay. Yet in response to Drake's concerns, UMG responded that Drake would face humiliation if he brought legal action. They tried to warn you, presuming that the public would be unable to understand UMG's role in exploiting and profiting from this dispute. UMG's posture as the world's largest music company was that it is untouchable. No, they absolutely understand they're untouchable. I ain't gonna lie about that. But you also thought you was untouchable, and you found out from Ray J, yeah, I touched that nigga. UMG's response to Drake was especially perverse, given that it is perfectly willing to sue to protect its own interests when it believes that doing so will protect its property. UMG is engaged in the business of acquiring, administering, licensing, exploiting, and otherwise monetizing the music of its artists, including Drake, and it does not hesitate to file lawsuits when doing so suits its financial interests. This lawsuit is both necessary and appropriate because UMG has repeatedly defamed Drake while exploiting and monetizing his work. With his own record label having waged a campaign against him and refusing to address this as a business matter, Drake has been left with no choice but to seek legal redress against UMG. UMG may spin this complaint as a rap beef gone legal. That's exactly what it is. But this lawsuit is not about a war of words between artists. This lawsuit involves no claims against Kendrick Lamar or any other artist. Instead, it is about UMG. But you throwing all these niggas' names in the pot. The publisher and exclusive rights holder of Lamar's music, as well as Drake's, and its malicious decision to publish and promote through covert means false allegations about Drake that UMG knew were false, explosive, inflammatory, and certain to result in both vitriol and substantial harm to Drake's reputation. But what about when you said he was a wife beater? What about that whole last verse on Family Matters where you said she beats him up too? What about shake that ass, bitch, and shake that ass for free? What about that part? Taunting someone who wasn't even involved in the battle. Notwithstanding a relationship spanning more than a decade, UMG intentionally sought to turn Drake into a pariah, a target for harassment or worse. UMG did so not because it believes any of these false claims to be true, but instead because it would profit from damaging Drake's reputation. Drake thus brings this action to hold UMG responsible for the actual and foreseeable harm he has suffered and will continue to suffer because of UMG's choice to elevate profits over the well-being of its artists and the music-consuming public. Okay? Parties, plaintiff Drake Aubrey Graham, you're oh man, snobbery. Drake is a citizen of Texas. Now you want to rep Texas. Boy, they should revoke your ability to live in Texas. The whole state of fucking Texas should be laughing your ass up out of there. Defendant UMG, we know who UMG is. I don't care about all this shit, man. Liability in this case is predicated on the defamatory material which UMG published and or caused the publication of beginning on May 4th, 2024 and continuing through the date of this filing. The background section provides facts and context about the parties and the events leading up to the initial publications. Drake is internationally recognized as a multi-talented rap superstar, and you've literally just killed all that. Multi-talented rap and superstar. You've killed it in one fell swoop. That is actually quite impressive. Drake's career spans 2 decades. While Drake first rose to fame in the early 2000s as the star of hit Canadian teen drama. I don't give a fuck about no Degrassi, nigga. Drake is one of the world's best-selling music artists of all time. Some of Drake's biggest hits include Hotline Bling and One Dance. Between 2010 and 2024, Drake released 8 studio albums with more than 170 million albums sold, including 244 million singles sold. Drake has had 13 number 1 hits on the Billboard 100 chart. What is your point? Drake's been repeatedly celebrated by the music industry. Drake has been nominated for 55 Grammys and has won 5. I know that shit got to kill your spirit. Drake also has won 42 Billboard Music Awards. In 2021, Drake accepted Billboard's Artist of the Decade Award. Drake proudly accepted the award with his young son. Oh, here they go, painting this fucking picture. Drake's professional and entrepreneurial endeavors extend beyond music. In 2012, Drake founded the Canadian-based record label OVO Sound, which has signed artists including Party Next Door, Magic Jordan, Smiley, and Naomi Sharon. I'm going to skip through some of that because I'm not understanding. I know that they're trying to like paint him out to be like this fucking global clean boy, but I'm not understanding what relevance this has. As UMG knows and is understood at all relevant times, Drake has never been indicted for, charged with, or convicted of committing any crimes whatsoever, much less sexual crimes. Yeah, whatever. UMG is a music industry giant. In its own words, UMG is the world leader in music entertainment. UMG is engaged in the business of acquiring. We already talked about that. In the music industry, control over a particular single, album, or other collection of work is governed by various contracts, including traditional record deals, distribution, publishing, and licensing. In a traditional record deal, a record company typically retains exclusive rights to an artist and the artist's recordings, and the right to re-recording the compositions embodied therein for a specified period of time. The label pays in advance for the artist's recordings and royalties and finances the provision of services to the artist in areas such as production, promotions, marketing, and distribution deals. So they're giving you a little bit of context about how the industry works. Still trying to understand where all this is going. Once Universal owns the recording, distribution, and publishing, it exploits that ownership through licensing deals with third parties. UMG is just leading up to the Spotify shit. These licensing deals allow third parties to legally use a recording, a musical composition, or portions thereof. Universal has licensing agreements with all the major platforms, including but not limited to iTunes, Amazon, Apple Music, Napster, Spotify, as well as TikTok and Meta, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and Threads. In the event that a person or entity wants to use a song outside of one of those licensed platforms, for example, to play during a political rally or a sporting event, it has to request the right to do so from Universal, which holds the synchronization contract. Third party cannot legally use UMG's recordings or UMPG's licensed content embodying those records in advertising, on a live stage, in film, on television, or on the radio without the explicit consent. Through its exclusive licensing rights, UMG wields incredible power to promote and popularize a song or performer. Y'all acting like Kendrick Lamar was like some fucking kid sitting at home on his brother's laptop, and all of a sudden he became an equal. So here they finna get into the YouTube shit, talking about whitelisting. Universal Music exercised this control in early 2024 when they pulled its song from a publication on TikTok over issues with the platform's use of generative AI. Through copyright ownership, Universal Music can control the unlicensed use of its music, but it also can strategically waive or reduce the customary fees it charges for the licensing rates to its music to provide for the unrestricted spread of a song. This tactic, known as whitelisting, happens when a copyright holder like UMG permits a user or platform to use its content without charging fees or imposing other limitations. In the normal course, internet platforms operate automated content identification systems to block the unauthorized use of copyrighted material by their users, and whitelisting these automated systems are turned off. Universal Music says it exists to shape culture through the power of artistry because music is unique in its ability to inspire people. That power to shape culture and inspire people is apparent by the numbers. I don't care about all this. This shit is long for no reason. Well, I'm sure for a reason legally, but for no reason as I can see. For example, annual incentive bonus. I don't care about that shit, man. I don't give a fuck who got paid off this shit. Y'all niggas put this music out willingly. This division-based incentive structure creates perverse incentives. Yeah, niggas got raises off of y'all dropping diss tracks. Who gives a fuck? UMG and Drake have a long relationship. They began profiting off Drake's art in 2009. The parties extended their contract in 2022. After announcing the 2022 contract extension, Sir Grange described Drake as one of the biggest artists of today and expressed that UMG couldn't be more excited about what lies ahead for its relationship with Drake. Through the contract extension, UMG profits from its exclusive right to exploit Drake's music. The contract between UMG and Drake is up for renegotiation in 2025. Okay, here's some material that can actually be relevant to what's going on, the renegotiation process. By the spring of 2024, UMG understood that the rise of streaming platforms had enhanced the bargaining power of artists. Of course they would have by 2024. They had already been doing this shit for 12 years. Established artists whose contracts are coming up for renewal are in an improved position to demand higher take rates due to the improvement in the visibility of cash flow and risk reduction. And as described below on Information and Belief, UMG was incentivized to act, and in fact did act in a manner to reduce that bargaining leverage in advance of upcoming negotiations with Drake over contract renewal. Here's the thing. You knew that you were going into renegotiation before you dropped Push-Ups. You were eager to go at it with Kendrick Lamar so much that you said drop, and antagonized him for weeks because you felt that you couldn't lose. And because you felt that you couldn't lose, you figured if I can snatch Kendrick Lamar's soul, pause, and I'm up for renegotiation in 2025, I'm definitely going to get the biggest deal in the music history. Right? And his plan backfired. He underestimated his opponent. He dissed everybody else that had a problem with him instead of just focusing on his primary opponent. That was a miscalculation. And now your renegotiation is being miscalculated. What does that have to do with us, Kendrick Lamar, or even UMG based on what you thought was going to happen and it just didn't? This shit is pitiful. UMG has licensing and publishing rights over Kendrick Lamar's music. Here you go, throwing this nigga name back in this shit. On Information and Belief from 2012 through 2023, Kendrick Lamar was signed to an exclusive production company agreement with Top Dog Entertainment, which in turn furnished his exclusive recording services to the Aftermath Entertainment record imprint, a joint venture of Interscope. The sound recording copyrights to Kendrick Lamar's first 5 studio albums are owned and controlled by Interscope. In 2023, having fulfilled his recording obligations to TDE and Aftermath, Kendrick Lamar signed a new short-term exclusive recording and licensing deal with UMG through Interscope and an exclusive publishing administration agreement with UMG through UMPG. Through these contracts, UMG exclusively controls the release, publication, and licensing of all music products created by Kendrick Lamar during the term of the contract, including the defamatory material. On Information and Belief, Lamar signed a short-term deal with UMG to see if UMG could prove its value to him to promote him more effectively than any other music company could in a compressed time frame. That's not illegal. That's actually the same thing you did in real talk. Because if you was able to get a deal in 2022 and renegotiate in 2025, that's also a short-term deal. Nigga got me hot. If successful, Lamar would then continue his relationship with UMG through a new longer term shit. Matter of fact, it sounds to me like y'all did the same shit. Cause Mr. Morale dropped what, 2022 also? which means his commitment was fulfilled in the same year. He then took TDE out the fold. He took Aftermath out the fold. He went directly to Interscope, got a short-term contract. Same shit you did. We don't know the value of Kendrick Lamar's deal. He didn't come out and have press releases and shit released about how much money he got. But we knew about yours. So y'all been doing the same shit business-wise. So what's the problem? On information and belief, UMG's contract with Kendrick would provide UMG the right to prevent the publication of and or to insist on modifications to any material created by Kendrick Lamar, including but not limited to any content which UMG believes to be defamatory. Here we go again. UMG publishes the defamatory material. This is the same shit, not like us. He then labels all of the different platforms that the song was released to. When viewed on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeart, SoundCloud, and Deezer, the recording includes the following language: exclusive license to Interscope, which is a division of UMG. Since defendant's initial publication of the recording has been streamed globally more than 990 million times on Spotify alone as of the date of the filing. The recording repeatedly accuses Drake of engaging in criminal acts. Within the first minute, the recording identifies Drake by name and says that Lamar has heard that Drake has a predilection for underage women. Say, Drake, hey, you're like I'm young. Oh, so you finna really like comb through this nigga's lyrics in here. The next line is a thinly veiled threat that Drake should be careful that he never ends up in prison, a place where child predators are notoriously the targets of violence. You better never go to jail. You better never go to jail, Block One. This is hilarious. The recording continues to say that any woman who falls in love with Drake should be careful to hide their little sister from him. Next, in a perverse reference to Drake's 2021 album Certified Lover Boy, Certified Fouls, in a play on the dual meaning of minor, a person under the age of 18 in a musical scale, the recording says that Drake is trying to strike a chord and is probably a minor. Later in the recording, Lamar describes Drake as Malibu Most Wanted. What's the problem with that? The recording continues to say that Drake and the people in his circle need to be served with a subpoena because a predator moves in flocks, and asserts that Drake's name got to be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. The recording, I sound like a fucking news network trying to keep up with hip hop right now, reading this bullshit. I sound like CBS News reading this shit, man. The recording also repeatedly suggests that violence should be used against Drake because he is a pedophile. Like the sound of someone being beat up, the recording repeats, wop, 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 and then says Lamar will fuck him up. He threatened to beat you up. Later, the recording threats that if Drake comes to Oakland where Lamar... What? Kendrick grew up in Oakland? You sure? He will not make it out alive. I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop. The recording makes clear that justice will be served not through the legal system and or commentary on social media, fuck a caption, but through physical violence. So now you're saying Kendrick Lamar physically threatened violence upon you to say, fuck a caption, we really gonna fight. Oh, wow. You're saying Kendrick Lamar is a bully in so many words. Oh, wow. Physical violence, want action, no accident, and I'm hands-on, he fuck around and get polished. At the end of the recording, the lyrics threateningly repeat, hey, run for your life. The recording contains numerous additional statements that imply the existence of evidence to support the allegations against Drake. The recording threatens that Lamar could reveal more secrets about Drake. Rabbit hole still deep, I can go further, I promise, and that the public will believe him. The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey, Drake, they're not slow. The recording continues by making reference to several Drake songs, Family Matters and God's Plan, and accusing Drake of being a liar for denying allegations of criminality. The family matter and the truth of the matter, it was God's plan to show y'all the liar. The recording also makes a vulgar attack on Drake's brand OVO. What OVO for? The other vaginal option? Pussy? And let me hear you say OVO. Furthering the record's refrain that Drake is not like us, the recording alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake is not a colleague, but a fucking colonizer. When did he say anything about you being Jewish by calling you a colonizer? You know what the fuck that nigga meant by colonizer? You come to this place, you come to America, and you, not even just America, you've gone on an international voyage siphoning niggas' cultures. You did it to Atlanta. You did it to the West Coast. You did it to the Middle East. You did it to Jamaica. We got the songs to prove it, nigga. They some of your biggest hits. You Christopher Columbus of hip hop. Ain't got shit to do with you being Jewish. I've been reserving such harsh judgment on this nigga for real. But this shit, the gloves is off. With the recording, UMG also published an accompanying image on May 4th, 2024 to YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Tidal, SoundCloud, AudioMac, Napster, Qobos. I don't even know what the fuck Qobos is. Last FM and Deezer, the UMPG website, and Meta and TikTok. Any person who listens, views, or streams the recording on one of these platforms can view this image. Oh boy. Oh, I really want to skip past this shit talking about the fucking photo. As of the date of this filing, UMG's original publications of the recording and image remain available, so they're saying you're still profiting off this defamatory material. The defamatory material is false. Drake publicly denies the defamatory material. Drake explained. Okay, so now he making reference to the Heart Part 6. Boy, you should never claim this song. On May 5th, just a day after UMG published the recording and image, Drake denied all the allegations in a song called The Heart Part 6. Drake explained that he has never been with no one underage and that his name is not on the S offender list. Despite being able to contact Drake, UMG did not ask Drake or his representatives to discuss his denials of the allegations contained within the defamatory material. Boy, you should have said it was AI that made that song. Drake is the target of violence almost immediately. So now we go back to the top here where they talked about just days after the song came out, there was an attack on his home. We already read through that bullshit. The 3-day onslaught of his fearing for safety. He fled from his home. The individual returned to his property on May 11th. Oh boy. Drake lives his life differently since UMG published the defamatory material. Drake has increased his security in Toronto and everywhere he goes. UMG published a Not Like Us music video on YouTube and to users of Apple Music and Tidal. He even puts Kendrick Lamar's image in here. On YouTube, a watermark for Vivo LLC. What, y'all gonna go after Vivo too for publishing it? This is a travesty. Here we go with the hopscotch image. Here we go with the containers. Here we go with Kendrick swinging on a piñata. Apparently that offended him too. In its conclusion, the video depicts a prolonged shot of a live owl in a cage. The meaning is clear. Drake belongs behind bars. Drake's initial publication of the video on YouTube has been viewed more than 206 million times as of the date of this filing. And it remains there. On Information and Belief, each of Sir Grange, Mr. Janik, Mr. Monte Lipman, and played a key role in the initial publication of the video, either in directing or approving the publication and or failing to prevent its public. So you wanted UMG to stop him from putting this song out. And once it came out, being that he didn't tell the label, Y'all wanted them to make him take it down, but you wanted no punishment for your part. Oh boy. UMG does not believe, nor has it ever believed, that Drake is a pedo. How much did you pay your lawyers to write this shit, man? UMG also knew or should have known that by publishing the defamatory material, it was gambling with Drake's safety. Critically, in addition to accusing Drake of being a criminal, the defamatory material calls for violence against him and depicts his Toronto address. Incidents like 2016 Pizzagate show how accusing someone of being a pedo and or committing crimes against children can quickly spin out of control into a viral conspiracy theory and acts of real physical violence. UMG directly knows what harm can arise from such outrageous allegations of criminal activity because they were accused of aiding and abetting Diddy. Is there anything else in here that's like different? UMG used social media to promote the defamatory material and market the recording's popularity to consumers. So here they're running down all of the numbers. At time of filing, UMG has a social media following of approximately 2 million on YouTube, 983,000 on Instagram, 700,000 on X, 624,000 on Facebook at the time of filing. Interscope has a social media following of approximately 937,000 on YouTube, 756,000 on IG, 560,000 on Facebook. On June 9th, Interscope reposted a tweet bragging that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us becomes the fastest rap song to reach 300 million Spotify streams in only 35 days. So now they're trying to zone in on all of the different mediums in which this song has been promoted, plus the big platforms that these labels have on their own, to make him look bad, to accuse him of being a predator. Even, oh man, we going to the pop out. Wow. On June 20th, 2024, UMG posted a carousel of photos and videos to its official Instagram account of Lamar performing the recording at the Pop Out concert, during which the recording was played 5 times back to back. Back to back. UMG captioned the post, "History was made." He don't like that shit at all, boy. Get you a wig and a banana. I don't like that shit. No, I don't like that shit. Drop a dime on them niggas. Same day, UMPG posted videos from the Pop Out performance on its official Instagram, which has hundreds of thousands of followers, blah, blah, blah. The Facebook posts included the main Not Like Us refrain from the recording, while the Instagram and TikTok posts published the A minor portion of the song. So now they're saying the label is specifically promoting the A minor part. On Instagram, UMPG captioned the video, "They Not Like Us." Kendrick Lamar pops out with his debut performance in Not Like Us at his Ken and Friends Pop Out Juneteenth concert in LA. Similarly, on TikTok, UMPG boasted that the crowd goes wild for Kendrick Lamar's debut performance in Not Like Us at his Juneteenth Pop Out concert. Greg Morella, president and promotion at Capital, another UMG label, promoted the Pop Out on his personal Instagram. Oh shit, he taking personal jabs at niggas from other labels too for promoting that shit. On July 5th, Interscope promoted the video on IG. July 8th, UMPG, which is the publishing arm of the company, posted a GIF from the video on its X account, encouraging people to watch the video. Wow. But I thought, you said cease and desist was whole shit. This is way beyond a cease and desist. On July 15th, Interscope reposted 2 X posts, including one from Complex regarding a fan's creation of a Not Like Us video game. You even mad at the nigga that made the little fucking 8-bit video game. Wow. The posts depict images from the video game which emulate the scene from the video in which an owl-shaped piñata is beaten with a bat and ultimately destroyed. But there was niggas that made Family Matters video games as well of Kendrick eating Grammys. On July 16, 2024, Interscope reposted on X that the recording had become the best-selling rap song of 2024 in the U.S. You just couldn't stand that he had really broke all these records on your at your expense. But you would have been perfectly fine had you been sitting in that driver's seat. On his YouTube channel, Interscope curates playlists of recommended music videos for fans. As of the date of this filing, the video is featured on the label's music video playlist. On November 8th, following an extensive publicity campaign launched and managed by UMG, Recording Academy nominated the song for several Grammy Awards, including the top awards for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song. Nominated the video for Best Music Video. Following the release of the nominations, Interscope posted a congratulatory message on IG to its Instagram. Damn, this shit long as fuck, man. I'm gonna have to push my other videos back again. We just on page fucking 39 out of 81. 81, like a Kobe game, huh? UMG used its ownership interest to promote the defamatory material. Let me find out you had your lawyers specifically make this 81 pages for Kobe. A global youth entertainment network to further promote the defamatory material. Between May 5th, 2024 and the date of this filing, Complex has published at least 50 articles about Not Like Us and posted about the recording hundreds of times across its website and social media accounts. So now y'all mad at Complex. Y'all mad at Vivo, y'all mad at UMG, y'all mad at Capital, y'all mad at the nigga at a regular Twitter user for making a video game. You mad at the world. On July 5th, Complex published an article titled Decoding Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video, and another title, Every Reference in Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video. The article describes in detail the recording's defamatory allegations against Drake. On Information and Belief, Universal Music also used its ownership interest in Vivo to over-index the video on the platform. Put differently, Vivo boosted the visibility of the video relative to others in order to disproportionately increase its overall views, engagement, and performance. UMG granted licenses to promote the defamatory material. Oh, boy. Since the recording's release, UMPG has listed the recording on its website for licensing in television and film. So that means that people could have used Not Like Us for TV shows and movies. On the UMPG website, third parties seeking to license songs for audiovisual publications can filter by genre chart-topping songs, and theme playlists. UMPG markets the recording as having a winning achievement lyrical theme. Sure does. UMG further promotes the recording for licensing by listing its success on the music charts. For example, on UMPG's website, a third party could search for songs in the Hot 100 singles. They also curate theme playlists on UMPG's website for marketing purposes. The recording is currently featured on the Winner Circle playlist. Yeah, Winner Circle, all right, nigga. Boy, you are fuming. Y'all give me a second. I gotta log in on my phone and push back these other videos, because one is supposed to be going up at 2, and clearly we're not gonna be done with this shit by 2 o'clock. Good God. Goodness gracious. This one gonna drop it goddamn 5. Goddamn. All right. As a result of its marketing efforts, UMG has repeatedly licensed the recording to perform publicly and published on other platforms. For example, on June 19th, yeah, we know, he performed the song in front of 16,000 attendees and a live stream of over 186,000 viewers on Amazon's Prime Video and Twitch. The live stream broke Amazon's streaming record for the most minutes watched from any Amazon production ever across Prime Video and Twitch. In the 3 days following the concert, Kendrick Lamar received nearly 61 million combined official on-demand U.S. streams. The recording represented approximately 21 million of those combined streams, a 62% increase from the 3-day period preceding the concert. This republication on June 19th and its subsequent republication on streaming platforms reached more than 21 million people and could not have occurred without UMG's explicit permission. So basically, they're trying to punish UMG for allowing Kendrick Lamar to do all these things. He's using Kendrick as a catalyst, but not trying to implicate him. But all of this is about his song. So you could say it's not about him all you want. You really would like to sue Kendrick Lamar, but UMG has all the money anyway, more than both of y'all. The recording has been used in over 1.3 million videos on TikTok. More than 100 TikToks using the recording have been viewed at least 2 million times each, with many being viewed tens of millions of times. In total, 125 popular TikToks have been viewed over 1 billion times. And as of the date of this filing, the recording has been used in over 616,000 reels on Instagram. Boy, you wish you could go that viral, don't you? You wish you could go that viral. Damn. I've done everything else in the music industry except go this fucking viral. Fuck. UMG also granted licenses for the recording to be played at sporting events, award shows, and political rallies. The recording has been played and broadcast on television during coverage of games for the MLB, NBA, and WNBA. The recording also played during the July 2024 ESPY Awards, an annual award ceremony that honors the top athletes and sports performances of the year. During the July 2024 campaign rally for Vice President Kamala Harris in Atlanta, the DJ played the recording to the live crowd. Damn, he threw he threw the Harris rally in that bit too. Video footage showing the crowd singing along to the lyrics, Certified Lover Boy, Certified Fouls, Trying to Strike a Chord is probably A minor, quickly went viral on social media. The recording also played during the highly anticipated roll call vote for president during the DNC. The recording blared in the United Center as California's Governor Gavin Newsom cast the state's delegates. The convention was reportedly viewed by approximately 20 million people across 12 television networks. He's mad at the entire entertainment industry for supporting this song. The recording also became the postseason anthem for the Los Angeles Dodgers playoff run and eventual 2024 World Series victory. The Dodgers had featured the recording in a hype video posted to their official YouTube page. Lamar is set to headline the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans on February 9th, 2025, which will be broadcasted on Fox. On information and belief, UMG conferred financial benefits and leveraged existing business relationships to secure the headliner spot at the Super Bowl. You do know Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar is cool. Hey, man, you want to do the Super Bowl? Hell yeah, man. Fuck it. Great job. I'll see you soon. They leveraged their existing business relationship to make him a headliner of the Super Bowl. Nobody would have considered him at the Super Bowl if this song would have never came out. I don't give a fuck about the fact that he was there 2 years ago. Man, shut your ass up. UMG made covert payments to third parties to deceive consumers. In addition to publishing, marketing, and licensing the defamatory material on information and belief, UMG also put a thumb on the scale by providing covert financial incentives to third parties to further spread the lies against Drake. UMG caused third parties to fake streams. Here we go with the bots. We've been reading for 46 pages and we're just now getting to the bot shit. How crazy is that? UMG directly or through its agents conspired with and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of the recording on Spotify. Bots are software programs designed to mimic human behavior to appear to be real social media accounts. One individual whose identity is unknown to plaintiff revealed publicly on a popular... Oh, so this is the fucking academic shit. Y'all still standing 10 toes down on that academic shit? The DJ that don't spin? Wow. We talked so much about this bot shit, I'm exhausted. UMG's desire to jumpstart the recording's popularity is unsurprising because streams beget more streams. Songs identified as top streamers land on most popular lists and playlists, which leads to more streams and therefore more licensing requests, more purchases, more partnerships, and ultimately more money for UMG. You would know because you've been the top nigga with all this shit for years. The whistleblower, the same whistleblower that admitted the shit was a lie, describes Spotify as the easiest platform to bot because it does not, like other streaming platforms, have certain security measures when it comes to bot protection. The whistleblower further revealed that on May 6, 2024, an official affiliated with Interscope sent him a payment of $2,500. Come on, dog, $2,500 fucking dollars, man, via the digital platform Zelle, and that he was promised another $2,500 and a percentage of the recording's sales for the initial push. How the hell? Who on God's green earth is gonna give a random individual a percentage of sales for some bots? I'm finna give you ownership in my shit for some bots? You gonna eat off the total sales? But all I gotta pay you is $2,500 up front and $2,500 on the back? Why would I give you anything? That don't even make sense. Fake streams are a well-known problem across the music industry. If anybody is, I ain't looked at the chat in a while. It's over 600 people in here. God damn. Let me go back to this page. Salute to everybody that's in here too. I'm sorry I can't talk to y'all, but there's so much shit in front of me. Fake streams are a well-known problem across the music industry. In 2023, the Financial Times reported that experts estimated that as much as 10% of all music streams are fake or derived from bots and streaming farms. So if the Financial Times came out and said 10% of all music streams are fake, that would mean you're included in that 10%. Why would you come to the front with this? Derived from bots and streaming farms where devices run services like Spotify and other stream platforms on loop. UMG, Spotify, Apple Music, among others, participated in a study at the request of the French Parliament, which found that between 1 billion and 3 billion fake streams took place on popular music platforms in 2021. Wasn't 2021 one of Drake's biggest years? I could be tripping. Publicly, Spotify has stated that it is aware of the issue of bots on its platform and is actively working to address it. In response to Drake's pre-litigation filing in New York State Court, Spotify explained that it invests heavily in automated and manual reviews to prevent, detect, and mitigate the impact of artificial streaming on the platform. UMG offered undisclosed financial incentives to promote the recording. Oh boy. They say these benefits were never disclosed to consumers. According to confidential sources recently made known to Drake, certain UMG labels have engaged in pay-for-play arrangements with radio and streaming services to boost the popularity of specific songs and use bots to artificially inflate streaming numbers. Drake has also received information that UMG engaged in a classic pay-for-play scheme by paying to increase the airplay of the recording on the radio, including radio stations in New York. Specifically, Drake has received information that at least one member of UMG's radio promotion team made payments to an independent radio promoter. This is exactly what I was talking about before. Independent radio promoter. That's not pay for play. Radio promoters have existed in the music industry for decades. It's not something that they gotta hide from the government. They've been here. How do you think your music gets delivered to these motherfuckers who agreed to transfer those payments to radio stations and or radio station employees in exchange for those radio stations playing the recording? The money that goes from the labels to the radio stations is advertising budget. It's not It's not identified as payola. It, depending on how you want to look at it, it is payola, but it's the legalized way to do it, which you've benefited from your entire career. Had it not existed, you wouldn't be here. In 2006, UMG agreed to pay $12 million in a settlement with the New York Attorney General following an investigation involving accusation that UMG executives had used a broad array of pay-for-play tactics to secure radio airplay for music. In connection with UMG's settlement, the then New York Attorney General explained, consumers have a right to not be misled about the way in which the music they hear on the radio is selected. He continued, pay-for-play makes a mockery of claims that only the best or most popular music is broadcast. Sir, if that was the truth, again, you would not be here. Do you really think One Dance was that popular on its own? Separately, in 2005, UMG was sued by 2 radio promotion companies alleging fraudulent pay-for-play practices. It remains an open secret within the music industry that power players like UMG are continuing to engage in payola. In November 2024, New York radio, oh, here we go with the Funkmaster Flex shit. New York radio DJ Funkmaster Flex released an alleged price list for payola on radio stations. $350 for pop radio, $250 as in thousand. For urban radio, $100,000 for a mix show, $3,000 to $5,000 per song for local DJs. We had a talk about this about a month ago. Other whistleblowers in the music industry have similarly confirmed the use of widespread payola, with some claiming to have proof. Funk Flex know that shit ain't true. Those prices are for promotion, not airplay. The promotion includes airplay, but again, if it were illegal, everybody would be in jail or out of a job. On information and belief, UMG also provided financial incentives to streaming platforms to promote the recording. You still on this? He's still alleging that UMG charged Spotify lower than usual licensing rates for the recording in exchange for Spotify affirmatively recommending the recording to users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists. I thought he would have taken this out, being that he renounced his petition, but no, he's still standing on it. Be on the lookout for countersuits on the way. Third parties have documented strange recommendations and searches on Spotify. On July 3rd, 2024, a user posted a video on X of a man typing Eminem into Spotify's search engine and the recording appearing as a suggested search result. The user captioned the post, "It doesn't matter what you search on Spotify, you'll see Not Like Us pop up. Spotify picked their side and the algorithm is proof." Other users describe similar experiences. So now he's saying when you go on Spotify, you search completely unrelated music, Not Like Us still comes up. Recommended songs, search results, and promoted playlists play a role in determining which music users will be exposed to and ultimately consume. An article discussing the harms of payola on music consumers describes that by including songs in suggested playlists, Spotify and other streaming services represent the listening public that the song has been chosen because it is uniquely aligned to that listener's taste or the playlist mood, and that the expert curator has judged the song to possess artistic excellence. On information and belief, UMG paid to use bots to stream the video. So now he's saying that the music video and the views on there are also illegitimate. On information and belief, UMG employed a similar scheme by paying social media influencers to promote and endorse the recording and video. As just one example, plaintiff understands that UMG paid directly or indirectly the popular NFR podcast to promote the recording and video without disclosing the payment. As part of its deal with UMG, the NFR podcast publicly published podcast episodes, tweets, and other content about the recording. So fucking what? You know how many accounts posted push-ups? You know how many accounts posted Family Matters and its accompanying music video? The same ones. NFR podcast posted both of y'all shit. NFR podcast did podcast episodes talking about both of y'all's music and diss records. I don't even really like NFR podcasts, but salute to them for being mentioned in this Karen ass lawsuit. They must have struck a chord. On information and belief, UMG conferred financial benefits to Apple, have its voice-activated digital assistant Siri purposely misdirect users, requesting other songs to instead stream the recording. Online sources reported that when users asked Siri to play the album Certified Lover Boy by Drake, Siri instead played the recording. UMG took other unprecedented steps to promote the defamatory material. So it seems to me what Drake did here, remember he had the lawsuit against UMG and Spotify. He also had the petition, against UMG and Spotify. He also had a petition against UMG and iHeartRadio. I have not seen him mention iHeartRadio. To my knowledge, I guess that filing is still active. I don't know. But it feels like he took the complaints of both of those petitions and jumbled them into this federal lawsuit. On May 4th, 2024, UMG removed the recording's copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, thereby whitelisting the recording. On information and belief, this action was directed by Interscope's Executive Vice President and Head of Digital Marketing, Ramon Alvarez Smeekle. This whitelisting was done purposely and with the full knowledge of UMG for the purpose of spreading the recording and its defamatory content as broadly as possible and as quickly as possible. UMG has a formal ban on whitelisting and had never before whitelisted a song on any platform to plaintiff's knowledge. In and around June 2024, UMG reinstituted the copyright restrictions on the recording. The effect of whitelisting the recording was massive and immediate. Able to play the recording in full on their own videos and to profit from them, content creators rushed to republish the recording in reaction videos, as just a few examples. So here, he's now targeting YouTubers such as myself that reacted to the music. The Cartier family, whose YouTube channel has 1.4 million subscribers, posted a video depicting the image and using the recording. As of the date of this filing, the video has 2 million views. Twitch streamer No Life Shaq. Oh, damn, No Life Shaq, your ass got mentioned. Fuck. Twitch streamer No Life Shaq posted a 14.5-minute clip of his reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 4.75 million subscribers. As of the date of this filing, the video has 5.3 million views. Don't you know No Life Shaq love your ass, sir? You crazy. YouTuber Zayas posted a 15-minute video reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 4.9 million subscribers. As of the date of this filing, the video has 6.6 million views. Damn, you got RDC in this bitch too. On May 5th, Twitch streamer RDC Gaming posted his reaction by the... Hey, bro, Kai Sadat, didn't that nigga just call you? Holy shit. Oh my God. This nigga is trying to blow up the entire entertainment industry. And I'm telling y'all right now, anybody who was mentioned, especially the streamers, if y'all were mentioning this shit, I would encourage you to never react to another Drake song ever. He put y'all names and faces inside of a federal lawsuit. Wow. RDC had 4.5 million views. Kai Cenat posted a 20-minute video of his reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 11.6 million subscribers. Video thumbnail depicts the image. As of the date of filing, this video has over 9 million views. These content creators could not have legally republished the defamatory material in full or profited from their, oh yeah, I see y'all, from their reaction videos without UMG first whitelisting the recording. On information and belief, UMG also paid influencers on Instagram and X to post content about the defamatory material for the purpose of spreading the content to larger audiences. Whoa, man. I am flabbergasted that I just seen them niggas' faces and names in this lawsuit. That is a new low. So all the other times that these same people have reacted to your music, not to mention that they reacted to your diss records as well, not to mention that you lifted and whitelisted your material as well. Niggas that reacted to Not Like Us also reacted to Family Matters and made money. But I guess he's gonna say, well, that was reactionary. Once I saw that Kendrick did it, I had to figure out a way to compete. UMG's media campaign successfully spreads the defamatory material to billions. Oh, man. UMG's campaign, we just on page 54. On May 4th, the recording set a new record for the most single-day streams for a rap song in the U.S., 13 million in 24 hours. Within the first week, the recording debuted at number 1 on Billboard Hot 100 with 70.9 million official streams and 5 million radio airplay audience impressions. And he did that on a Sunday. Just 1 week later, the recording broke the record for the most streamed song in a 7-day period, 96 million streams. After UMG published the video, the recording returned to the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. In the week after the video's publication, the recording was streamed an additional 53.8 million times and played on the radio an additional 40 million times. And from July 4th to August 8th, 2024, the video ranked first on YouTube's weekly top music video chart. On August 6th, the video earned a VMA Award nomination for Song of the Year. The recording has maintained its popularity in the months since. On October 7th, 2024, Billboard reported that the recording had reached 45.4 million in total audience impressions on radio, with 15 non-consecutive weeks in charge of the R&B hip-hop airplay list. And the recording remains a top 40 hit on New York-based stations Z100 and Power 105. Rolling Stone reflected that with its catchy beat and incendiary lyrics labeling Drake a pedo, Kendrick Lamar's latest hit is arguably the biggest moment in music this year, and described the vicious Drake diss as inescapable. Pitchfork called the lyrics Certified Loverboy, Certified P-Foul, the defining lyric of the decade so far. Who gives a fuck what Pitchfork has to say anyway? The defamatory material has become ubiquitous, not just in the rap community, but in the community at large. It has been heard and or viewed nearly 6 billion times. As just a few examples of the content's broad reach, Joe Rogan discussed the recording and allegations against Drake on his hugely popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. With 14.5 million followers on Spotify alone as of March, as did NPR's podcast, Pop Culture Happy Hour. With every play, stream, listen, view, and mention, UMG has profited. Oh, man. You should be submitting your papers of resignation. After submitting this, you should be resigning from your post as an artist in the music industry. As a celebrity, period, for real. You're done. But you got fans still. They still here. Some of them I see them in here putting thumbs down on my shit. Just as UMG knew that the allegations in the defamatory material were false at the time, it first published a recording, image, and video. Oh, man. You've said this shit about 9 times already. You done said this shit for every time 50 Cent done got shot. UMG's actions did not change. After receiving 2 notices from Drake, so Drake tried to reach out to UMG, say, hey guys, that's not true. They received 2 notices that these allegations were false and the severe harm that he's suffered. UMG took no steps to address the matter. To the contrary, UMG continued to promote and license this song, including through numerous social media posts boasting of the record's success and negotiating and paying for the recording to be nominated at the 2025 Grammys and played at the Super Bowl. They said they paid for your shit to get nominated at the Grammys. Holy shit. Wow. Throughout the summer and fall, Drake attempted to resolve these claims privately with UMG without resorting to litigation. UMG's own code of conduct required corrective action on UMG's part. That code states that UMG is committed to a nonviolent workplace and that harassment can take different forms, such as speech that is threatening or abusive. In its workplace, UMG prioritizes avoiding abusive conduct, including verbal abuse and physical conduct that another person would find threatening or humiliating. In his introductory comments to that code of conduct, Sir Grange observes that integrity means behaving honorably and with honesty. It means setting the right tone in all that we do. We are accountable for the decisions we make and how we conduct ourselves. Drake expected that UMG would live by its own principles in responding to the abusive conduct, threats, and violence he had experienced. Yet after weeks of delay, UMG declined to do anything to assist Drake, including even going as far as refusing to agree to mediate with Drake. UMG instead insisted that it bore no responsibility for the harm Drake had suffered and represented that if Drake sued UMG, UMG would respond by bringing claims against Kendrick Lamar and intimated that Drake would face public ridicule for the perception that he had sued another rapper. Well, the day has come. You've now sued them. So does that mean UMG is going to now sue Kendrick? I don't think that would work in their benefit either. Because Kendrick has a humongous mob at this point. Some of the motherfuckers in that mob don't even like me. But if you think y'all finna sue Kendrick in retaliation to Drake suing y'all are in for a rude awakening. So UMG, I think y'all have had a long enough time to think about this. I don't think that would be the proper strategy. At no point during any of these discussions did UMG ever suggest that it believed the allegations against Drake to be truthful or accurate. As of the date of this filing, UMG continues to promote and license the defamatory material, notwithstanding its plain knowledge of both the falsity and concrete harm to Drake. As of the date of this filing, UMG has not retracted any of the defamatory material or issued statements disclaiming the veracity of the defamatory material or apologizing to Drake for the harm it caused. UMG's actions are motivated, at least in part, by UMG's desire to best position itself in negotiations with Kendrick Lamar in 2024 and Drake in 2025. With respect to Lamar on information and belief, UMG was incentivized to prove that it could maximize Lamar's sales by any means necessary after only being able to get him to sign a short-term exclusive contract. UMG wanted Lamar to see its value on an expedited time frame in order to convince Lamar to re-sign exclusively and for a longer period. As to Drake, in 2024, his contract was nearing fulfillment. On information and belief, UMG anticipated that extending Drake's contract would come at a high cost to UMG. As such, it was incentivized to devalue Drake's music and brand in order to gain leverage in negotiations for an extension. UMG's actions were also motivated by its executive incentive structure, which rewards Interscope executives like Mr. Janik for surpassing their division's annual projections, even if that success has a detrimental effect on an artist from another division like Drake from Republic and or UMG overall. On information and belief, Mr. Janik further was motivated to surpass Interscope's 2024 annual goals at the expense of Republic and Drake to position himself to be named as Sir Grange's successor. A position for which Monty Lipman of Republic is also being considered. Okay. So now Drake is saying that the head of Interscope, Mr. Janik, he wants to take over as UMG CEO position because Lucian Grange allegedly wants to step down. I guess he getting old. He don't want to do this shit no more. So he's saying that this is all a calculated scheme between Mr. Janik and Mr. Monte Lipman from Republic. Remember, Drake is signed to Republic. So this is like a war between not only Kendrick Lamar and Drake, who are on opposing sides under the UMG umbrella, but also the heads of both of these companies are in a battle that we don't see. So whoever came out the victor between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, their respective leader of the company would also have more consideration to take over Lucian Grange's spot at the top of the pyramid. That's interesting to me. Do I give a fuck? No. But still interesting. UMG caused Drake substantial harm by publishing and promoting the defamatory material. UMG published or took part in publishing statements that assert or imply that Drake is an ex-offender, pedophile, and ex-trafficker, and engages in other criminal acts that would require him to register as an offender. These claims are false and constitute defamation per se. Members of the public believe and repeat the false allegations. Come on, bro. Members of the public have taken the allegations in the defamatory material to be statements of fact, even after Drake's public and private denials. On April 30th, less than a week before the release of the recording, UMG released another song by Kendrick, Euphoria, that threatened that he won't tell truths about Drake if Drake don't tell no lie about me, and ominously stated that he knows some shit about Drake. To the reasonable listener, any future allegations levied by Lamar against Drake would be based in truth and undisclosed fact, not rumor or opinion. Immediately after the release of the recording and image, people all over the internet began repeating the allegations against Drake, believing them to be statements of fact. These posts number in at least the hundreds of thousands. So I guess you want to try to strike tailor-made freestyle from the record where you literally accused yourself of being a pedo. You want to take that away. As one user put it, this isn't a diss, it's the truth. The culture isn't just not fucking with Drake, it's correcting itself by kicking out these predators, Drake, Diddy, etc. Another user wrote that the recording is telling the truth about Drake being a pedo. Other users echoed the same. Drake has more than 800,000 dislikes on that song because everybody believe he loves touching children because he have evidence everywhere. Another, I love this song. We would have never known Drake is a whole pedo if this information wasn't exposed. Respect and love you, Kendrick, for keeping it 100. From your tone, anger, and passion behind your words, there is no doubt on my end that Drake is indeed a pedo. And Kendrick just exposed Drake of running with pedos and offenders. I don't know. I don't think Kendrick is dumb to make false accusations. I don't want to assume without proof, but shit ain't looking good for Drake. Like, I feel like he's still holding some shit back and ain't saying everything he knows about Drake. Many people reacted to the image, which depicts Drake's Toronto residence and predator icons. One user asked, who are the 13 pedos at Park Lane Circle? Demonstrating that they believe the image to be accurately depicting who lived or spent time in the home. Others reacted similarly to UMG's initial publication of the recording and image on YouTube. Just realized the thumbnail is from the Ex-Predators app. OMG, is that an S-offender map on Drake's house? Nah, that many pedos in one spot is crazy. Drake canceled. Drake housing a bunch of pedos at his house? Nervous laughing with sweat emoji. Yo, S-offenders have to register red, which means SA against a minor. Drake has 13 of them living in his house. Drake's pedo mansion. Those are the markers used to show the pedos that live next to your kids. People all over the internet also questioned why Drake had not yet been arrested and called for the police, the FBI, and the CIA, as well as Child Protective Services to investigate the statements in the recording. On comments on UMG's initial publications of the defamatory material, the YouTube users commented, the FBI need to come at this point. The caged owl got me truly believing Kendrick know Drake going to prison possibly. Hey, Kendrick, don't diss Drake. It's a waste of time. Just call the cops. And snitching Drake is a pedophile, so Drake go to jail and you can win. Bye. Hide your children from Drake. If what Kendrick has said is true, Drake need to be locked up. Drake just need to be locked up. Yo, I'm about to call CPS because this is a... Oh my God. Drake #1 op is CPS. At this point, CIA and FBI need to step in. Who are these people, bro? I like the step this way, step that way. Are we locked in? I picture Drake getting locked behind bars. Are we locked in? Now step this way, step this way, step this way into the cell. Ain't that about a bitch? Some comments went so far. Oh my God, this is not supposed to be funny. Some comments went so far as to specifically reference Drake's 7-year-old son by name. It's scary if what Kendrick said is true about Drake. Mother of Adonis, save your child. Adonis gets to play with the trapped kids at Drake's mansion when he... Hey, yo, that's not supposed to be funny at all. I'm fucking in tears. Oh, shit. Who are these people? Oh, my God. Y'all gonna fuck around and make me push my videos back again. Oh, my God. I don't think Drake can even attempt to parent Adonis anymore. And in an especially vile post, oh no, that's bad. I bet Drake touches Adonis too. That's crazy. Many posters turned to racial and religious slurs against Drake, who is mixed race and Jewish. For example, users on the YouTube and X commented, "Is that Drake?" Oh no, we can't repeat that. They try to take a nigga channel down for that shit. I say it. Them blank are the colonizers. That's who Drake represent. We got to take our music back from those devils. On a deeper level, they not like us. Understand, Drake is a Khazarian blank. If you know the history, you know that they stole the identity of the true biblical Semitic Israelites, us, and are claiming to be Jewish people today. So when Drake says you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer, it goes much deeper than rap. If you know, you know. Stop by Compton's Tams number 21 with the homie for some burgers and to call Drake a Jewish blank. You know I had to do it to him. Not like... Who are these people? Bro, Drake is a colonizer because he is blank. Gotta protect my channel, y'all. In a May 10th, 2024 recording of the It's Been a Minute show produced by NPR, host Brittany Lewis discussed the allegations in the recording with NPR music reporter Sydney Madden and writer Takara Love. I'm just gonna say that's how you say her name. Taraka Love. Okay. They understood the recording to be linking Drake and his alleged criminal behavior to other famous figures who were revealed to the public as predators and later convinced for their crimes, such as rapper. Since when was the R a rapper? Miss Madden insinuated that the allegations could be true, commenting, "So much dirt has been unearthed." To Love, the allegations rose to the level of warranting an investigation. Wow, NPR, y'all really went in. Because while this sort of behavior is in our faces for a lot of different industries, it is unusual for the allegations to come from contemporaries. The podcast positioned the recording as having the potential to be a tipping point for a Me Too movement in the world of hip hop. Luce explicitly asked her guests whether they considered the allegations in the recording to be art or cause for an actual criminal investigation. Miss Madden answered by pointing to the trial of rapper Young Thug, who was recently criminally prosecuted in Georgia on RICO charges in a case where the prosecution relied heavily on rap lyrics as evidence. Other celebrities have suggested the possible truth of the allegations. During his set at a May 7th charity event, actor and comedian Seth Rogen commented, "Wow," on how Drake must feel now that people are dancing to a song that calls him a predator. Mr. Rogen said, "Could you imagine going to a club and seeing a room full of people dancing to a song about you being a pedophile, especially if you were one?" It's a comedy show, bro. I don't know if he is, but if he was, I assume that'd be a very alarming moment in your life. Oh no, they're on to me. Others compared Drake to infamous people who have actually been charged with and found guilty of crimes. In comment on UMG's initial publication of the recording and image to YouTube, users commented Drake is a pedophile and ex-abuser on the level of Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein. And people like Drake, Weinstein, and Epstein using power and money to humiliate and terrorize and traffic and groom females and children. Commenters on the video repeated similar statements such as, "We have an anti-PDF anthem about time. No justice for guys like Diddy, Epstein, and Drake, and all the victims they cause, much less the Johns." Users characterized Drake of being just another Hollywood pedo. Believing the accusations, many listeners also repeated the calls for violence against Drake from the defamatory material. In the comment section of UMG's first publication of the recording and video on YouTube, users made threats. God damn, this shit long. Drake not going to be able to touch down in the Cali going forward. Someone got a Biggie Smalls him. Oh shit. Homies out here don't tolerate that. Not even joking. Drake better come with Secret Service type security if he plans on going through LA. And even then, that might not be enough. They not like us. Laughing emojis. This shit long as fuck, man. My camera done froze and everything. Hold on. Shit. If Drake is in the chat, that would be hilarious. That nigga ain't watching me. Sound like he need to be watching his back. Drake can never go to LA without Secret Service level security now. On the X, references to violence continue. This is one of those situations where you just gotta kind of off yourself if you're Drake. Other commenters reveled in the idea of Drake suffering from SA in prison. Even nerds know if you messing with kids, you don't do good in jail. And everyone is dancing to Drake being a pedo, getting violated in prison. Oh no, not the big three. Wow. Belief in the truth of defamatory material persisted in direct response to Drake's denial of the claims in The Heart Part 6. That's crazy. The social media reaction described in paragraphs 170 to 184 are just a tiny slice of the public vitriol caused by UMG's defamation of Drake. The spewing of hate against Drake has not been limited to social media. The public has leveraged multiple other platforms to repeat the lies in the defamatory material. For example, users have edited the address that appears on Google Maps and Apple Maps at Drake's Toronto address to read, "PDF lives here and he touches little girls." In the summer of 2024, users updated the description of Drake's Toronto address in rideshare applications Uber and Lyft. Users have edited the address to read Drizzy Touch Kids, Drizzy's Fun Time Chamber, and A Minor. Less than a month after UMG, I will say a lot of this stuff is excessive, especially the Lyft and Uber app. But a lot of that shit that y'all have included in this is just people's comments on social media. They were going to make those comments whether or not those songs came out. Those comments were already around. Not to mention all the comments of people that actually believe Kendrick Lamar was a domestic abuser. It might not have been magnified to the same level, but it still was there. Less than a month after UMG published the recording and image, author Martin Vidal published an article titled "The Drake-Kendrick Rap Beef, a Case Study of Mob Psychology." Mr. Vidal explains that mob mentality is a psychological state that causes people to abandon nuance, label anyone who defends the accused as being guilty of the same actions of the accused, reward those who perpetuate their cause, and do bad in the name of doing good, even when accusations are made without supplying any evidence. I will say that mob mentality thing sounds pretty accurate, though. Mr. Vidal concludes that the public reaction to the allegations against Drake were classic mob mentality, citing the shooting and other trespassing incidents and instances of vandalism at Drake's OVO stores and overwhelming negative public outcry. Mr. Vidal explains that this mob mentality is why people can believe the allegations despite the fact that Drake has never been accused of inappropriate behavior with a minor or something similar like grooming. He has been accused of grooming. Y'all tripping. By any underage or formerly underage person he's interacted with, or their families or their acquaintances, and just about every alleged victim of such has come out in defense of Drake. According to Mike Rothschild, an author and expert on conspiracy theories, accusations of PDF are particularly ripe for conspiracies. He describes that allegations of this cause people to immediately just lose their mind, even if these children don't exist. And even if you just put out the suggestion there, it grabs a hold in a way that is difficult to dislodge. Mr. Rothschild also notes that social media exacerbates conspiracy theories because of the spread of information, or disinformation can happen so much more rapidly than in the analog age. So let's just discount the fact that you really wanted to try to leverage all of this against Kendrick Lamar, but it backfired. UMG's conduct caused Drake reputational, financial, physical, and emotional harm. UMG's publications have caused Drake reputational, financial, physical, emotional harm, and all of these were reasonably foreseeable. The Economist and YouGov polled Americans about their views of Drake in August 2023 and May 2024, shortly after the release of the recording and image. Drake's favorability rating dropped by 11%, while his unfavorability rating rose 13%. As of May 2024, Drake was now less popular in the U.S. than Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I mean, shit. Sound like you're in good company, ning. As a public figure, Drake's reputation is paramount to his career and is directly related to his financial success. Maybe one day you could be president out this fucking weird-ass country. UMG's purposeful spread of the defamatory material unquestionably caused Drake reputational harm. Because of UMG's defamation, millions of people all over the world now associate Drake with blank against children. Every time I think of Aubrey now, I just sing Certified Lover Boy, Certified P-File in my head. Drake may or may not recover from this, but either way, shit's never going to be the same for him after this song. He can't escape from it. Creepy pedo ass. Don't think his rap career is dead, but enough questions have been asked, so there should be notable impact on his career. What am I supposed to tell my kids when they ask me if these allegations are true? They did not even know Kendrick music well, but identified a feeling in Kendrick's music that resonated with their truth. These words are scathing to any listener. I got some decisions to make after this, because I can't play Drake in my car with this narrative floating around. Dangerous. I don't want to be that guy, but I never took Drake seriously. He's Canadian. He was a Degrassi. That stuff makes it hard for me to take him seriously. I thought that's why Kendrick went after him. Now that it's more serious than just Drake being fake, I'm like, wow. If I knew all this, I'd hate Drake too. This is checkmate for Drake, because how exactly do you respond to someone calling you a sociopath, a deadbeat, and a PDF? As for Kendrick, I just want to know how he found out some of these things and what took so long to call Drake out. This whole thing is beyond brutal at this point. Kendrick must truly fucking hate Drake for some reason. Makes me inevitably think there might be real merit to the PDF claim. Sorry, Drake. Kendrick is literally making me think it. Jesus Christ. Talk about winning a rap beef. Laughing emojis. This reputational harm caused Drake financial harm in the amount to be proven at trial. UMG knew or should have known that the statements published about Drake would cause substantial harm, as the statements are inflammatory, wrongfully impute criminal activity to him, and damage Drake in his trade. The defamatory material has also severely damaged Drake's standing in his trade and community that undoing the reputational harm caused would require a massive and expensive corrective campaign. It is not just the fact that the false allegations have spread to millions around the globe. It is also the intensity with which people believe the allegations, as evidenced by the events of May 7, 2024, and pervasive online commentary. Changing people's minds, particularly about deeply held beliefs, takes repeated messaging from trusted sources. UMG knows and understands just how destructive false allegations of participating in these acts against minors can be. Here they go again with the Diddy shit. Ingrained, here we go with the same shit. Whatever. UMG's conduct has also caused Drake physical and emotional harm. UMG's publication was the proximate cause of the violence against Drake in early May, still blaming them for the shooting at his house. Following this violence, Drake made lasting changes to his life, including increasing security for himself and his family anywhere they go. The threat of violence continues to weigh on Drake. With respect to his family, Drake temporarily took his son out of school and away from the Toronto area, along with Drake's mother for security concerns. And to this day, Drake experiences anxiety, worrying about the physical safety of his 7-year-old son and mother. UMG deceived the public and caused him harm. UMG's deceptive business practices, including providing undisclosed financial benefits to third parties to promote the defamatory material, were consumer-oriented, deceived the public, and caused Drake financial harm. As described above, UMG knowingly provided covert financial benefits to third parties, including to use bots to stream the recording. UMG then knowingly promoted the success of the recording and defamatory material and used that success to leverage more sales and deals. UMG never disclosed those payments to consumers. They're not supposed to. Those covert tactics and caused Drake harm. Stream manipulation, like UMG's purchase of fake streams on Spotify and other platforms, harms the artists like Drake, who collect royalties through legitimate streams. Oh, so you saying you ain't used not one bot in your entire career. You got all legitimate streams and all the Kendricks was fake. Okay. But what about all them comments we just read? Are those bots too? Sorry to keep clearing my damn throat, but I've been talking for a long time at this point. Purchase of fake streams on Spotify and other platforms harms the artists like Drake, who collect royalties through legitimate streams, because when there is a sharp increase in the number of streams recorded in a platform without a proportional increase in the number of paying subscribers, there is a drop in the unit value of a stream and therefore a drop in the amount of royalties paid to rights holders. Additionally, streaming platforms like Spotify use streaming data to proportionally allocate and disperse payments, which means streaming fraud diverts funds from artists whose songs are legitimately streamed by real consumers to those who use automation to falsely create the appearance of legitimate streaming. Okay? And now we get to the defamation claim. Plaintiff incorporates and realleges all preceding paragraphs as it fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is a public figure. We already know who these niggas is. Okay. We pretty much went through all this stuff. They're just recapping. Is there anything else? So there's two claims. So what's first claim is, we'll just go through the charges or the claim here. So this is defamation. This here is harassment, second degree. Okay, so we got defamation, we have harassment here. Third claim, violation of New York general business law. I'm guessing this is payola. Yep. And here is his prayer for relief. Okay. Wherefore plaintiff prays for judgment against UMG for each side of the causes of action raised herein. Plaintiff respectfully requests a judgment in his favor against UMG for nominal damages, compensatory damages, including general, actual, consequential, special damages in an amount to be determined at trial, punitive damages, reasonable and necessary attorney fees, reasonable and necessary cost of the suit, pre-judgment and post-judgment interest at the highest lawful rates. At the highest lawful rates is funny. Declaratory relief, stating that the statements published and promoted by UMG and those attributable to UMG as a reasonably foreseeable publication identified within his complaint, individually and collectively, were also false. Injunctive relief rejoining UMG from making statements about the popular. Ooh, they also want relief enjoining them from making statements about the popularity of the recording, image, or video that it knows to be false based on fake streams. So they don't want y'all talking about this song no more either. And they want relief because you helped promote it. Wow. 81 like a Kobe game. Drake, you're done for, buddy. Peekaboo. So why y'all talking about degrees? It's not relevant. What? Oh, so they saying I shouldn't be talking about this because I don't got no degree. I'm just now even looking at the chat. Hey, man, everybody gonna form their opinion about this shit. Everybody's gonna talk about this. This is the biggest shit that ever really happened in the game. Thank you to that girl, Shine. I greatly appreciate you. Just now seeing your super chat, I appreciate you greatly. Cup of coffee on me for your comedy legal reading. I greatly appreciate that. Look, man, if you're a fan of Drake and you walk away from this feeling like he did his big one, that's on you. Like, that's what fans do. That's cool. But at the end of the day, if you don't think that this is damaging to his career, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to the chat. I don't give a fuck how big of a fan you are. If you don't think that this is going to negatively impact his career, his standing in the public eye, which has already been affected, you are lying to yourself and the chat. I don't give a fuck what your name is. I ain't grew up with none of you niggas. So if you mad at me, be mad at me for life. I don't give a fuck. But I'm going to tell y'all straight up, I don't want to hear this nigga rap. I don't want to see the nigga face. Okay, I got you. It's cool. Even if they hating on the chat. Why you mad at the chat? Because this nigga came out and did this shit. Be mad at Drake. Y'all should be on his Instagram page right now. I think he got his comments deactivated or some shit. But see if you could drop a comment to his ass and speak to him. Say, man, why you put me in this position as a fan? Why are you making people question my fanhood on a daily basis? Why are you making being a fan of you so fucking hard? Go talk to him about that shit. Go hit up OVO Hush or somebody. Hit up fucking 40 or Boy Wonder. Boy Wonder's on fucking Twitter all the time talking shit. Go talk to them niggas. Because although there's people that have been like continually perpetuating the PDF allegations and stuff like that, and there's some people that like really stand 10 toes down behind that, and respect to you if you do. But for the most part, I feel like most people that are kind of in the middle of just spectating saw like, okay, this is a bad moment for Drake. It's a rough patch. But if he were to just go into his cocoon for a little bit, stop trying to be forward facing, stop trying to face the public, just chill the fuck out, go make some good music, come back, refreshed, rejuvenated, drop some shit that people might convert people back, but at least could tailor to his audience, do some top 40 hits. I don't know, go see what Sabrina Carpenter's talking about. I don't know, go collab with her ass. He might have been all right. It's never gonna be the same. That's for sure. There's no up or down, no argument anybody could say. It ain't never gonna be the same. And after today, it absolutely won't be the same. He's done. Because Triple A, you say nobody's in the middle. That's not true. That's not true. People in the middle typically get shitted on too, but that's not true. But it ain't never gonna be the same. He's not gonna be able to convert no new fans. And if you come from actually loving hip hop, there's no way that you can co-sign a federal lawsuit against the music industry for a nigga putting out a song. Because all All that lawsuit did was tiptoe around Kendrick's song, his lyrics, his allegations. He threw that nigga's name all throughout the song from a rap battle. A lot of y'all say, no, this ain't about the rap battle no more. No, this is still the rap battle, nigga. He's trying to carry it forward. He's trying to get that song taken out of, he wants that song to be illegal, basically. Now tell me when any of Drake's diss records have been made illegal. Tell me when any of his music has been labeled as contraband. Tell me when anybody has tried to forcibly stop him from performing any of his records. Tell me when somebody has sued UMG to say, hey, that Drake song is inappropriate. It can't be out. So his best course of action moving forward, you say the allegations are worse for his career than the lawsuit. That's your perspective, 888. I think a conviction on those allegations would be worse than this lawsuit, but we can agree to disagree. You should retire, buddy. That's all. And to try to stop it from being performed at the Super Bowl, because that's what you want to do. You want to get this song caught up in litigation, just in case Kendrick was considering performing it at the Super Bowl. You want Interscoping UMG to put pressure on him to say, hey, could you not perform it? Nah, nigga. The reason why shout out to Just Gwen. The reason why Story of Adidon was removed had nothing to do with the contents of the song. It's the fact that he used a Jay-Z beat. So from the rip, it wasn't his song to begin with. Had he released Story of Adidon over an original production, they couldn't have taken it down either. They wouldn't have taken it down. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all, man. We was here for 2 hours reading through that bullshit. We knew from the first page that shit was bullshit. But I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I greatly appreciate all 800 of y'all that tuned in, that stuck around. Some of y'all may not like what was covered here, but again, take that up with Drake. It's his fault, not ours. And I'm going to catch y'all a little bit later. I got another video about to drop at 3. Megan Thee Stallion's former photographer, Emilio Garcia, aka Emilio Cucci, he has amended his complaint. He has a lot of new allegations against Megan Thee Stallion. He has a lot more details where he feels that she was harassing him or forcing him to be around overt sexual activity that he does not co-sign. We're going to be going through that entire filing in just a few minutes. So I'm about to sign out, and then that video is about to come in. Okay? Much love and respect. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soldier Rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, so straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross somebody came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no gunner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.